Hi, I'm Gareth Spence and welcome to Tech Talk. At this year's OFC, Adtran is helping to drive the OIF's latest interoperability demo. To discuss the technology involved and explain why this year's demo is so important, I'm joined by Adtran's Stefan Voll. Stefan, what is the key focus of this year's showcase?
Hi Gareth, glad to be here. This is the showcase of the OIF. The OIF is the industry body which actually defines the interoperability in our industry, and it also runs those interoperability demos. This year's demo is running 100 gig, 400 gig, and 800 gig waves over different line systems. 100 gig transceivers, 400 gig transceivers, 800 gig transceivers of different companies interfacing each other, sitting in yet another company's routing system and running over yet another company's line system. So it's a very valid proof that open vendor-neutral networking works.
What is Adtran contributing to this demo?
Yeah, we are bringing two things to the table. One is our line system based on FSP 3000 open line system. The second one is our QSFP28 transceiver 100 CR.
I'd like to talk about both of those technologies. Let's start with the FSP 3000 OLS. What makes this system significant for this demo?
This system is one of the basic foundations of the demo. Without those line systems, those demos of course wouldn't work. What we brought here is an FSP 3000 colorless ROADM with 12 ports. It's one of the very valid options for an IP over DWDM network. It's a very simple configuration with just two cards and a very little chassis. Very streamlined, very fit for the application. And it's one of the two valid choices for those networks. You use that when you want to have optical bypass capabilities or when you want to run also additional services like high-speed private lines, spectrum services and such. The other being a simple point-to-point, fully automated system like our IPOLS, which you actually can see over at our booth.
What type of benefits does this open architecture provide to network operators?
Overall, open architectures provide the ability to have a disaggregated deployment where you can buy best of breed, have your line system from us, as an example, have your transceivers from somebody else, your routers from yet somebody else, and still all of that will work seamlessly in an open network.
You also mentioned Adtran's 100ZR Plus QSFP28 transceiver. What makes this pluggable so key for this demo?
This is the first coherent transceiver within a 5-watt power envelope, which means it can work in any 100 gig port, which even has not been designed for coherent transceivers. So that means you can upgrade any installed base 100 gig devices with coherent wavelengths. And that's key for two applications. One is a 10 gig to 100 gig migration, building a coherent edge. The other one being 100 gig private lines to like an enterprise service. The added benefit of this particular device is that it has a 0 dBm output power. That makes it compatible with installed base brownfield ROADM infrastructures. So you can have this migration on the top of an existing optical layer.
A lot of people around the demo are talking about the importance of 800G. Can you discuss that in some detail?
Yeah, so we have 800 gig over our span as well. And overall, this is the first time that 800 gig is shown running in an interop demo like this one over a couple of spans, not just like 80 kilometers, but hundreds of kilometers. What that means is that this open networking concept now extends to metropolitan regional networks and can go well beyond the limits of a simple DCI connection.
How do you see IP over DWDM network architectures evolving with the technologies behind us?
Yeah, it's a proof point that it actually works and that it scales to higher capacities, that also operators, and not just cloud operators, but service providers, regional service providers, smaller service providers, can actually adopt that technology and build an open network with it. So it's a great, great proof point.
Looking ahead, what does this type of interoperability mean for the industry?
Yeah, for us in Adtran, it means a lot because we have started with that since a long, long time. We now are glad to see it embraced by the overall industry and see this demonstration. It's really a great proof point that our vision came true and people can actually build those open networks to support the bandwidth growth we still have, and of which, of course, AI will push further.
Stefan, thanks for joining me today.
Sure, thank you.